As the man boarded the plane, something felt off. His flight number was 1015. The date? October 15th. And oddly enough, the departure time had just been changed to 10:15. Three coincidences, flight number, date, and time, stacked on top of each other, and it unsettled him. To ease his nerves, he approached the captain to ask if anything unusual had come up. The captain assured him confidently that everything was normal. Only then did he feel a bit more at ease. Just after taking his seat, he reached into the seat pocket in front of him and pulled out a radio device. At first, he assumed someone had left it behind, but then he looked at the screen and froze. It was displaying a story about the disappearance of Flight 1015, the very flight he was on. Driven by curiosity, he plugged in a pair of headphones to listen. To his shock, the audio perfectly matched what the flight attendant was doing in front of him at that moment. It even mentioned that it was raining outside. He looked out the window. Sure enough, rain was falling. Everything the recording described was happening in real time. Then the recording claimed the plane would vanish from radar in exactly 1 hour. It began analyzing the possible causes of the incident and mentioned the captain by name, Connor. He immediately paused the recording. Turning to the man next to him, he asked, "Do you know the captain's name?" The man said he didn't. He offered the headphones, asking him to listen, but the man looked at him strangely and moved to another seat. Despite hesitating, he resumed the recording. It said the captain had reported a flock of birds approaching. At 10:21 p.m., the birds would strike the engine. He checked his watch. It was exactly 10:21. Suddenly, a loud bang shook the plane. He jumped in fear, ripped off the headphones, and rushed to the restroom. Inside, he tried to calm himself, telling himself he must be imagining things. No one else seemed alarmed. Maybe it was all in his head. He returned to his seat and pressed the call button repeatedly. When a flight attendant arrived, he urgently asked if birds had struck the plane. She replied that they were flying at high altitude and a bird strike was impossible. Then she turned and walked away. Just then, a man seated nearby spoke up. "We definitely hit something," he said. He explained that he used to be a pilot, often flew with this airline, and even knew the captain's name. He confirmed that it had indeed been a bird strike, then walked off. This made him even more nervous. What if the recording was telling the truth? He put the headphones back on and kept listening. The voice said the plane would disappear at exactly 11:15. He checked his watch. Only 40 minutes remained. Sweating, he began looking around at the other passengers, trying to spot anything unusual, but the recording never explained how the plane would disappear, only that it would vanish from radar. He realized he couldn't just sit there and wait. He pulled out a notebook and began listing all the possible causes of a plane accident: mechanical failure, fire in the cabin, external interference. He stood up and began walking through the cabin, hoping to find some kind of clue. And just then,